Afternoon. We call the, I forgot to hit my gavel. We call the meeting of the Liberty County Board of Commissioners to order. Mr. Brown, has the meeting been properly advertised? Yes, sir. I don't see Mr. Donahue here today. All right, thank you. Good to have everyone in our audience. This is our mid-month meeting, which we do every third Thursday, at 5 o'clock. At this time, we're going to stand for our prayer and our pledge of allegiance. Now I'll lead the prayer today. Father, we thank you for this day. Thank you for allowing us to come now this time. We thank you for your grace and your love and your mercy. We ask that you would now give us the guidance, wisdom, understanding we need, that we might tend to the business of Liberty County. We pray for all those who are bereaved, sick, shut in, and whatever their personal needs are. We pray for mankind everywhere. And we ask that you would one day give us a home in that kingdom. In Jesus Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All righty, we're trying to move on. In fact, short agenda, short meeting. That's right, Commissioners?
Yes, sir.
Short agenda, short meeting. Short agenda, short meeting. Thank you. Recognition of Liberty County 4-H.
Oh, yeah.
Good evening, Commissioners.
Hello, sir.
And thank you for allowing us to be here this evening. As the Liberty County 4-H agent, my vision for the program is to prepare our youth for tomorrow by providing them with fun and educational programs today. And so one of the things that we do, one of the areas that we focus on is civic engagement, giving back to the community, engaging with the community, and things of that nature. So this year, we decided to work together to create some gifts to say thank you. You all do a lot for the community, and I'm sure everybody does not always appreciate the hard work that you put in. And so we wanted to just put something together to say thank you. So some of our 4-Hers worked together to create some nice little holiday packages for you all. And I'm going to allow Daisy Clay, one of our 4-Hers, to come up and speak a little bit about some of the things that she's been able to do throughout her experiences with 4-H. And that's all because of your support and everything that you've done for us. Really quickly, Daisy is our Liberty County president. So she's the president of our club. She has also been voted on the Southeast District Board. So out of all the counties in our district, she was voted as one of the representatives. So she also has a slew of other accolades and things, but she's a great, great young lady. And I have a group of other 4-Hers with us as well. So I'm gonna let her come up and share a couple words.
Good evening, Commissioners.
Hello, Daisy.
I am a Liberty County 4-Her, and I have been doing 4-H for about 8.5 years now, so a really long time. And along the way, I've made a lot of great friends that I'm still friends with today, and I have been able to experience some experiences that I don't think people would really be able to experience if they weren't in 4-H. Just this past weekend, I was at this event called Fall Forum, and it was really fun. I had a blast, and I even met even more new people and made even more new friends. And I just think 4-H is a really good experience for youth, and we just want to thank you for allowing 4-H to be in Liberty County.
Thank you.
So we have some gifts for you.
Oh, that's nice.
Well, thank you. Thank you for
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I got one. Thank you. Thank you. I have one.
Oh, thank you.
Those two gentlemen don't, they don't need it.
Commissioner Gillett, he'll be here shortly. Just put one by Commissioner Gillett's place, he'll be here. He's over at the City Hall for a meeting over there. Thank you.
Thank y'all.
guys.
Mr. Chair, my son is
He's
in
a
the 4-H
4-H'er?
program.
Yeah.
And I'm a former 4-H'er.
Me too.
I still have my district trophies at the house.
Keep up the good work,
Absolutely,
ladies.
yeah.
Good to see good positive leadership in the community, my young people. Look, yeah. One day we're gonna pass the baton and you'll be the one to receive it, so. Learn all you can learn, take advantage of all those opportunities you can, and follow the leadership of that gentleman right there with you, and the best is yet to come. Can we give him a hand again, young people? Now, I won't cheat you out of a photo opportunity if you want to do that. Yeah, well, come this way if you will.
Y'all come back and visit anytime.
That helps.
No, don't. Come on, ladies.
Young people, young-
Got 'em. Get in close.
Now you got to get Commissioner Stevens. He always try to hide.
Tippy toes.
Thank you.
Where you at, Garrett?
Okay, the young lady, the young lady,
This
yes,
lady?
can you bring her out a little bit? Yeah. Yeah, there she go. There you go. You were hiding right there. Commissioner Stevens still trying to hide back there.
Come on. Steve. I have to get him a stool.
Appreciate what you
Thank
did.
you.
Thank you, thank you.
Appreciate y'all.
Commissioner Walden was hiding too.
Congratulations, Garrett. Proclamation, bring one for the chipper. Dr. Bell is here again. Now, you normally give up. With these young people, they might have got you today.
I gave ours out earlier. Oh, but wait for the news, wait for the
Oh,
news. Good evening, Chairman and Commissioners. Christmas trees into mulch, that's what I'm here to talk about. For over 30 years, Bring One for the Chipper program has helped Georgians recycle their Christmas trees. Here in Liberty County, we partner with Georgia Power, Georgia Forestry Commission, all the city's Public Works Office, and the Liberty County Solid Waste Department. And they make it possible for us to continue the program that we have here in our community. So Keep Liberty Beautiful would like to encourage our community to participate in the program by recycling all your live. I don't know if I mentioned that, live. You'd be surprised what we end up with. Your live Christmas trees. The trees can be dropped off at any recycling center, drop-off location that we have throughout Liberty County, and at their home curbside on their trash day. So we partner, that's what the City Works program help us with. On January the 7th, 2023, can you believe it, 2023, we will celebrate all this great mulching by handing out trees, almost 400 trees. So come out, we have white oak, red bug, poplar, did I say that right? Poplar, trees and dogwoods. I know y'all love them dogwoods. So coming out, we'll have seedlings right there at the Recycling Transfer Center, which is on Highway 84 and Fraser Drive, across from McDonald's from 9 to 1. This year, you can also bring your shoes, gently used shoes, there to that site on January the 7th, and you will still be able to pick up a tree. How about that? So you donate your Christmas tree or shoes, and you can pick up a tree and seedless. We'll have over 1,000 different types of seeds, plants, fruits, and vegetables that you can pick up also on that day. So we giving out some. Just got to wait till January the 7th.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
That's all I have, sir.
Ms. Brown, you have the proclamation?
This is a proclamation for Bring One for the Chipper Day. Whereas recycling reduces the waste stream, thus saving tax dollars and improving our environment. And whereas Liberty County is committed to reducing the waste stream, thus helping the state of Georgia reach a per capita waste disposal reduction goal. And whereas the Keep Georgia Beautiful Foundation, the Home Depot, Davy Tree Expert Company, Georgia Forestry Commission, WXI 11 Alive, Ferry Morse Company, and Burpee Seed Company are sponsoring the 32nd year of Bring One for the Chipper recycling program. And whereas this program promotes recycling of Christmas trees into usable mulch material and provides county residents easy access to drop-off sites. Now therefore be it resolved that I, Donald L. Lovett, Chairman of the Liberty County Commission, do hereby proclaim Saturday, January 7th, 2023 as Bring One for the Chipper Day in Liberty County.
And I would like to mention, we also partnered with Fort Stewart, and last year we were able to keep 453 trees out of the landfill, and 200 trees went to the fish habitat. So they put them like in ponds, and that's also with Fort Stewart.
We don't even have to ask her to come up here anymore. She just knows.
He's just gonna give her a seat up here.
Right. She like,
Give her a seat.
I know y'all busy, so I was.
hey, look, she just dropped the mic here. You
Coming on up here.
I'm sorry.
Because that was mentioned in our budget resolution, so. We don't, we've already done it.
Three murders.
Where?
You.
I'm a tree hugger.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Congratulations.
You know that. They do and get paid for it, huh?
And actually, we actually technically recycle the trees and turn them into paper.
Turn paper, yeah. My IT friends, all I see is that all I need to see right now on my screen? Okay, all right. All right, departmental reports, finance. You know, let's take this time, Ms. McLaughlin, I know you handed off, but come on and get your.
I am.
Yeah.
Ms. Samantha will give you your report this month, and we're still working and learning. As a matter of fact, today we were just looking at the calendar, and it's like, I have 16 days, and like only 7 of those were working days because of the holidays and time off and all. It's like, we got 7 days. Yeah, that's a lot of it. I gave her my number. I said, no problem, because there's going to be things that come up. I just know it. But she's done a great job, and everybody has been well receiving, and I told her this is a great place to work. It's a great place to land. I know what she's been doing for the last 20 years because I worked in public accounting and auditing and doing all the traveling, and that's tough. And so I told her, this is kind of like, in my mind, the second part of her career. Sure. And it's quite interesting because we were almost the same, like I was almost the same age when I started here over 20 years ago. So I told her, it's nice, and it's a great place to land for a different type of career now. More stable, steady, no travel. And yeah, she's done great so far. So I'll let her give you the report, and then if you have questions.
You passing it on
Well,
already.
actually, it was
I
suggested that Miss Samantha give the report this
sure
month,
did.
so that,
No, no
kinda work
problem.
any kinks out.
Right.
But
Yeah,
before you,
practice run.
but before you totally hand, don't
Exactly.
leave so soon. We just want to appreciate you for your service to the Liberty County Board of Commissioners, to the citizens of Liberty County. Ever since I've come on board, we've come on board, you've been a joy to work with. You've done an excellent job with helping to manage the county's finances and walking us through all the processes. So we appreciate the work that you've done, and we hope that you will. I know you said you don't think about what your future like.
Yeah, I got a few months. I'm giving myself 6 months to figure out, what it is I want to do. But I know I want to take a couple months off and do a little bit of traveling, see my grandkids, and then I got to figure out: am I really going to want to live up in the mountains? Am I just going to want a vacation there, and then kind of land? I'm going to be here full time. Love to do 6 months here and 6 months there, but I don't know. We'll see. But I'll Hinesville's my home.
Yeah.
I love Hinesville. It's great. I just
Hinesville-
don't have family here anymore.
Hinesville loves you. Hinesville loves
Thank you.
know that
I
the other
appreciate
Kim,
it.
you and Kim Ryan, y'all work so well together. So
Yes,
you
we
built up
do.
some great relationships.
Yeah, yes, we do.
Yeah.
And Samantha and Kim have already met, and we're actually going to be getting together before I leave to just go over a few different things. And so, yeah, we can't touch everything. It's crazy because when this whole process started, I think I remember Joseph saying, yeah, she needs to be here 4 months. And it's like, well, man, 4 months? She's been here 2.5 months, and now we realize maybe 4 months should have been it. I don't know, because there's a lot you just don't cover yet that hasn't come up. I remember the first week you started, we had a list. And at 3:30, because things happen every day, every morning, you'll have a list, and
Oh,
you'll
yeah.
swear you're going to get to that list, and something happens, and you put out this fire, and you tend to that, and you fix that. 3:30 comes, and I say, wow, that was a busy day. We didn't get anything done on the list, but that was a busy day. So it happens, and we're working through it.
That's right.
Yeah.
Now, Commissioner,
Great selection.
Thank you. Thank you for your assistance in that. Now, I know there's going to be a reception, but commissioners, if you all want to get yours in now, I'm not sure what your future schedules are. This is your time right now to appreciate this young lady for her work with the county. So I'll open it up to the floor for.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Ms. Kim, I knew very little bit about numbers. Now I know just enough to be dangerous. But you taught me just enough to stay alert.
Just enough to be dangerous?
Yes.
Y'all can thank me for that then? Is that
But I do appreciate you.
We've grown a lot. I mean, we've been through a lot.
You know what? I'm gonna say this anyway. I can walk by your office someday, I see the smile on her face, and I said, well, her and Mr. Brown on good terms today. Walk back by the next day sometime, and I see Miss Kim, they at it again.
Yeah,
But both of them was working for the
Yeah.
betterment of the
Absolutely,
county.
absolutely.
If you always get everybody to agree, then you only need one person.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's
So,
true.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Enjoy your vacation.
My
Go to London.
interim.
Go to England.
No,
go
no,
to
no, I'm
Rome,
not leaving the continental U.S. here.
and
No desire.
then come right back to Liberty County.
Yeah,
But thank you very much. We all love you.
thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
Just real quick, I remember whenever I first got elected, I was really, really green. And I came and sat down with you, and then we started talking about the numbers as well. So, and our relationship, not just mine, but, with the entire commission, anything that we asked for, you presented it to us. And I just know I'm going to miss you. The only other thing I'm not going to miss is the Florida stuff in your office.
If you've gone by my office, it's actually already down.
I
Like,
know,
it looks like
right.
somebody moved out.
But, all your years of service here for the county, we definitely appreciate it. Not just us, but the citizens who
Thank you.
probably don't even know what you do. But
Well, thank you.
you've been really wonderful for the county. And so we
I
just want to thank
appreciate
you for
that.
that.
Thank you.
Chairman. Kim, I think you were hired the
Yeah.
same year I was
Yeah,
elected. And Donald
exactly.
and I believe Marion.
Same year.
Some of
And
us
the
were-
chairman, yeah.
came in and it was a learned process, I think, for all of us. And I appreciate your patience with me and taking the time to review and go over and tell me over and over why we do it this way and how we do it, and just explaining it all to me. And I do hope you have a happy retirement.
Thank you, I appreciate
And a
that.
healthy retirement.
Yes, I appreciate that.
Enjoy yourself.
I guess I hadn't worked with you as long as some of the others.
No.
But I
You're not
met-
even my commissioner anymore.
Yeah. Met you, I guess, through other acquaintances, people that you work with that I'm familiar with.
Yeah.
And I've always heard good things about you before I met you and started working with you. You've been very forthcoming to me, trying to help me understand the dollars and cents and how everything goes. So I appreciate everything you've done for me personally and for us as a commission and us as a county. And hope you enjoy your other life and don't forget about us.
No, never. Well, thank you.
Do you want me to speak for Gary too?
No.
Please don't.
I know y'all ride together, but that's okay.
Yeah, it's been a good run. I enjoyed it. Appreciate your work trying to balance this budget and working with something you probably never did do before, and that's constitutional officer.
You're right about that.
Everybody's got their own little nest, and
Yep.
they don't want to kick the chicks out. They just want to get more and more. So I hope you have a good time off, and I don't think it'll last long. You too much to offer, but
Yeah.
you're welcome here anytime,
Well, thank you.
as far as I'm concerned. So
I appreciate it.
good luck and welcome aboard.
Yeah, there you go.
Thank
Well,
you.
thank you. I
Water
really
to be-
appreciate it. Yeah. At least it's water.
All right, now we hear the report.
All right.
Good evening, Chairman and Commissioners. We have just completed the October financials, which I will be reporting on this evening. By the end of October, we have collected approximately 16% of our budgeted revenues and have exhausted about 28% of our total budget expenditures. We are currently sitting at about 2.7 months of operational expenditures and undesignated fund balance. This time last month, it's very comparable. We were at 2.8 months. Last year, in October, we were sitting around 3.8 months. The decrease from last year is largely due to our increased budget for the year. The $42 million from last fiscal year to this fiscal year's $48 million has caused the monthly expenditure to rise. Also, on the balance sheet for the general fund, total cash is around $16 million. And I just wanted to point out that a lot of that is the unspent bond proceeds for the bonds that were issued in June. If we compare that to last October's cash, it was around 2.1. So the undesignated fund balance does not include the bond proceeds. Those are going to be in the designated capital projects. So I just kind of wanted, to explain the cash is large, but that's primarily the reason until we draw down on those funds and spend them. Looking at the departments of the general fund, there are a few departments that are running ahead of schedule. Some of these we have talked about in previous months, but I'll go over those again briefly. The admin department is ahead of schedule due to the salary study that was done, in addition to the Mercer Group expenditures. These are one-time expenditures, and we expect this department to fall back in line as the year continues. The general administration and superior court departments are a little ahead of schedule due to additional one-time expenses that these have paid in the fiscal year. Probate court also, let's see, they purchased a new Lectreaver, and so this has caused a deficiency for their department. The coroner is over budget by about 11,000, and it's primarily due to the vehicle that was purchased. The Conservation Administration paid an annual payment for the Georgia-Alabama Land Trust, site visits and monitoring. There should not be any additional expenditures charged to this department for the rest of the year. The Debt Service Department is running ahead of schedule due to the vehicles that we acquired through Enterprise. And in talking with finance staff, we currently have 87 vehicles financed through Enterprise, or leased through Enterprise, shall I say. Overall, through the end of October, we have a favorable budget variance of $3 million, which I would say is very excellent. However, we do have an upcoming payment to ACCG for the pension plans. And so I think we need to continue to stress the importance of finding savings to all the departments. We always have unanticipated costs and that kind of thing. But I think we're moving in a good direction. Moving on to solid waste. For this month, we show a net loss of $192,000. However, the majority of this is due to depreciation expense, so a non-cash item that was not on previous month's reports. So our capital assets person in finance is now tracking that on a more current basis instead of just a year-end. So it kind
A piece of equipment?
It's actually the whole, it's depreciation on all of the solid waste. So facilities, equipment, that kind of thing. Which I guess was usually only booked at year end, and so.
Usually, we just didn't have the staff to do it on a
Right.
regular basis, but now, we have 7 people. We're trying to do better, and, so yes, we're trying to do that more on a quarterly basis at least, and then just true up at year end, so you can get a more accurate picture.
Regarding the solid waste departments, they're all operating within budget, with the exception of one for solid waste collections. And that's running ahead of schedule for a purchase of 38 dumpsters. But we do anticipate this department falling back in line as the year continues. Moving on to sales tax.
Elections are looking great.
Yes. Another month where it's received over $1 million. And at the end of October for this fiscal year, we are 1.5 million ahead of schedule. This is partly due to the internet sales and just continued growth commercially within the county. Total collections to date through October for the SPLOST 6 was $55.3 million. And this SPLOST will continue through April, so it's great.
It definitely hit 59, maybe even 60 million, depending on how the next 5 months go. So, really good.
Can we do 60?
I'm reluctant to say 60, but you definitely might get to 59.
Regarding the sales tax reports and projects, I just want to ask that each of you take time just to make sure that we've captured all of the obligations and we're not missing anything. But feel free to reach out if you see something that's not correct, and we'll definitely get it updated. Regarding T-SPLOST, another great month. We collected over $900,000 for the month of October. This T-SPLOST has brought in over $21 million since inception, which is excellent. That's all for their report, but there's a few items just in finance in general I just wanted to kind of highlight. So our fund balance, the 2.7 months of expenditures in fund balance, this is our very lean time of year. We don't have our money from the property taxes yet, as you know. But those bills were made available earlier this month, so we should definitely start seeing some of those funds coming in. An update on the audit. The auditors are wrapping up their annual audit, and we should have a draft of the financial statements with early next week. The finance staff have been working very hard to address and provide documentation for their final audit request. Additionally, as you are aware, we have converted to ADP and have successfully processed our first payroll using the time and attendance side. This has been a very tedious process, but we are working on the issues that arise. And we are also learning about new reports that can be run for finance, but also for the department heads. So we continue to explore those, but I'm very optimistic, and I think that, going forward, it'll be very useful and beneficial for the county. And also, Commissioner Walden, we received your request for that information, and we will work on getting that to you. Smart Fusion only has information going back to 2006, so would that be okay?
Mr. Chairman, I wanted to ask a question. You were talking about the increase because of the dumpsters.
Solid waste.
Do you have to buy new ones?
We had to have additional ones, and then we replaced some ones that were rusting out. And yes, we had to buy some more for additional customers.
Are we providing those, Joey, into the new areas in Flemington, the polycarts?
No, these are,
These are the steel
Yeah, I
open
know
tops.
those are the steel ones, but
We-
there's gonna be an increase in that department for funding those, right? Or are we gonna depend on
We'll collect that back through what the fee is set.
not the city?
Well, I mean, it's built into the fee schedule.
it's built
that we
into these
gave them.
solid waste assessments. When we
Yeah.
did that cost study, now the citizens of Flemington will get a solid waste assessment that will cover their cost that the city of Flemington used to pay for.
So do we have a magic, or does Clint have those to where he knows this year is gonna be the 5th year? I mean, after 3 or 4 of them where the wheels fall off, there's no need fixing them. That's what I'm saying. We've got a schedule to make those whole each year, or are we doing?
Solid waste actually has its own specific capital replacement schedule for all items, vehicles, equipment, buildings, everything in solid waste, and that was part of that cost study that we do.
Okay, so, but it's still showing us in the red now, right?
Correct, and I actually had to remind the auditors, because last year was the first year in many years that solid waste did not end up with a small net income. So that was the fiscal year '21. So that was the year when we first knew, okay, we've got to do something about the solid waste assessment. So last year, we actually completed the solid waste assessments, and this billing that we just did this month includes the new assessments. So when we get the monies that start rolling in, those new assessments will come in and shore up that solid waste.
And then the next one I have a question on, I guess we can start at 6 and go backwards. But the hangers, Joey, were those included in this, obligation funds for Right Army Airfield?
No, sir, the only thing that you see obligated out of here for that is bond payments.
Just the bond?
Right. So, in fact, Samantha and I are getting together on that, but if you remember, what we will do is, we had a net difference in what the hangar construction cost was over what we put in, and so between us, the Development Authority, and the City of Hinesville, there'll be loan proceeds that actually will three together help pay back the remaining debt just on the hangars. It'll be a separate issue.
Again, we ought to be able to generate some.
Absolutely. Yeah, they're already all full, and we have another 10 or so wanting hangars now, so.
The only other thing I did want to mention, and this is something I'm going to work with Samantha on, your request was to see how much SPLOST distributions have been made per district. So I don't know if you remember in sales tax 4 and 5, we didn't, the chairman didn't have a distribution by himself. And then District 2 and District 6 in sales tax 5 were combined. So we can get you, certainly for 1, 3, 4, and 5, we can get you by district how much sales tax distributions were made. It's a little more difficult in the earlier years for District 2, 6, and the chairman. Like I said, because we didn't split that up.
Well, we could just put a 0 there.
That's what it,
I mean, we can figure that one out.
that's what it was.
That's real simple,
Yeah,
man.
that's pretty.
So,
I just wanted to see how it was going over this period of time.
I got you. And our software now goes back as far as 2006. Anything past that, I don't know. It'd be tough. We couldn't get it by district. We could get it in total, just going to the audit reports, but that's it.
For your, I'm sorry, you done?
Yeah, and the reason I was looking at different places that have where their taxes is generated. You know, like in larger cities where they're generated at, and where some of them have as many as 8 commissioners in there, trying to spend out the same pot. So just wanted to try to get some idea.
Well, we
Okay.
definitely,
I had a conversation with somebody that was on ACCG, and I was just telling them, you know, what we did was basically split it up equal amounts, and, but it wasn't done originally. I believe we'd done that for 4 years, 3 years. Just before Pat left, I believe.
Yeah, just before Pat left.
we could definitely, sales tax 6 would be real easy to do. Like I said, it would just be going back to sales tax 3, 4, and 5, because you didn't have, the chairman didn't have any.
Well, sales tax was used for so many different things. You know, I mean, where are we at on the bond at the Justice Center now?
It'll be paid off at the end of sales tax 7.
Okay. I told him I thought it was gonna be paid off at the end of sales tax 6.
No.
Okay.
That's
Well,
why
if
the
we're
sheriff
going
said
like we're
that.
going now, we might,
Yeah, really.
Apply some more to it, yeah.
good possibility. Because I know we had mentioned that there's a possibility of having to add a pod onto the jail.
Yes.
That takes away from it also. Well, that's all I had, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sorry for
That's all right.
extending it 15 minutes, you told me.
Macamet Lectriver, is that the,
That's the records
that Nancy has been
rolling
talking about
file
for?
system,
So we
right?
finally got that.
Yeah, we ordered it a year ago, I think, and it finally came in, so yeah. it
I
was
know Nancy's a happy camper.
Pretty hefty purchase, and it hit her budget pretty hard.
It's installed?
It's installed.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm surprised she didn't
No.
send us birthday cake.
Include what had to be done to hold them up.
It was actually already okay. We had designed that ahead of time for extras, so the beams were okay.
Well, it's good to hear that that has happened. Only other question is, I hadn't heard, I hadn't talked to the tax commissioner, but bills going out or going out?
So, I know bills were made available, is what I understood. Now, I don't know if they've been mailed out, but I believe, when we got the okay to do the billing, my understanding was, at that point, the bills could be generated and made available online. And I know as soon as they preview them and review them, I know he's real conscious about getting those tapes to like the large mortgage companies, First Union and SunTrust or Wells Fargo, whatever it is, to get them out there so that we can get that push, hopefully by January. Because a lot of times he'll get that money in December, and then he'll distribute that to us in January.
Okay, I just hadn't heard.
The only other thing I did want to mention is there were a couple of items, the coroner, for instance, during the millage rate process, you know, his budget got adjusted. So when we present the November report, his will fall back in line because we made adjustments for those unexpected expenditures when we were doing the millage rate. So he'll fall off that report. But this is October, and that didn't happen until November, so.
Chair, Samantha.
Yes, sir.
I heard you say that the admin line is going over. And you said that was for the salary study?
Yes.
Or is that for the payout of the salary?
No,
How
it's for-
much?
It's for a salary study, but it's not going over, it's just ahead of schedule. So that's the thing on the reports, it gives you a 1/12 amount or 2/12, whatever it may be. And if it's accelerated, that's what they know. So it's not necessarily just gonna go over at the end of the year. It's just that
It's
it,
tracking
Yes,
ahead
ma'am.
of schedule.
Yeah.
Something has skewed it for that month.
When will we?
mid-month in January, we're due to have them online to present that to you.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Because I know one time we had said December, but first of December.
Just with everything else that
Yeah,
we've had,
okay.
yeah, and we got same thing happening first meeting in January, so we,
Move on.
yeah. we
Move on.
Samantha had the opportunity to meet the other constitutional officers.
Most of them, actually, we met with the sheriff and the chief deputy today to go over a lot of budget stuff and kind of,
You'll know
yeah.
them very well by the time this is over.
You know, and I felt like I was talking the whole time. But I kind of wanted to share with them the things that y'all have been working on and kind of, I don't know, just remind them of what they have been giving since they got here in office, and we support the vision, and I think they're gonna be coming to you with a lot of other things that are, self-funding kind of, programs. But we did wanna just acknowledge him that there were things that were eliminated, that were tentatively approved, but we eliminated the funding for. And then just talk about, in general, kind of how the budget process works and what our board has to balance, the needs, whether it's fire, EMS, law enforcement, or other things, you know, with the tax, the millage rate. It's a balance, and so, yeah. I know everybody thinks their stuff is the most important, and I get it, but
You have one of these?
she has a couple.
I just want to
She
make
has a-
sure that she meets all constitutional officers, so. that-
Yes, so,
Yeah.
I know Joseph took her around to meet some people. We've already met Virgil, the sheriff,
Glenda.
well, she's not Reggie.
Reggie.
So when we come back next week, because I'm off tomorrow and Monday, but next week, we'll probably go with, Linda, the clerk of court, probate judge, magistrate judge,
okay. Yeah.
and state court
So
judge.
they will be calling on you,
Yes,
Yes.
yes. But yes, we've attempted and definitely sat down with the sheriff to discuss budget stuff, because he was hit.
okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Mr. Chairman, one other question. Kim, how do you fund for the actuary? Joey,
The actual actuary,
yeah.
I believe it's through we don't pay a separate for that, does he make a retention from the fund? There's a separate payment?
It's a separate payment to CBIZ, but we budget for that in our benefits department, where we budget for other insurance and liability stuff and pension true-ups, and Ms. Samantha mentioned, we've got a pretty hefty payment coming up. I hope cash flow is there, we're watching it. But for our defined benefit plan, we need to try our best to make a $2 million payment before December 31st, so.
And
That's it.
Budget
It's a big-
enough?
That's directly into the plan versus the actuary.
Right.
I mean, is there just a line item that you have decided, okay, we're gonna put this, and let's not wind up like we did a few years back where.
So when we changed our fiduciary agent and we went with ACCG, they have a much more strict funding requirement. They require you get up to 75% funding, which is a lot higher than we had ever done. So for the past 4 years, we have had to make additional contributions. And in certain years, I try and budget for that, but it really depends on the actuarial report that we get. So one year I budgeted, I think, $1 million, and it only took $800,000. This year I budgeted $1 million, and it's gonna take $2 million.
It fluctuates
It
also with the market.
fluctuates with your market investments, how they've done. It fluctuates with the actuarial tables, so it's a combination of everything.
And really, it's 18 months behind the market that you get to budget for it, because you're playing catch-up, because the actuary report can't be done until closure of the period, and so it takes, like, after the closure of the period, it takes about 8 or 9 months to get the report, and so then you're really 18 months, almost 2 years, since the occurrence, so to speak, of.
Well, you've got people that are retiring, and sometimes that'll get away from you. You get 5 more than what you had. I mean, it's something that can real easily get by you, and that's what I'm saying. The retirees, whoever they are, I mean, I don't draw retirement, never have heard anything about getting a retirement, but the ones that are out there, you know, they're gonna be dependent on that, and, I just wanna make sure that we don't get caught up not being able to fund that
Right,
like
just
we
hold.
should. I mean, I'm the only one here that don't really have any gray hair. Not worried.
We're gonna leave that alone. All right. Adoption of special revenue fund budget?
Actually, we don't need that, and I thought we had called Maria to tell you to take that off the budget because, or off the agenda, because when you adopted your budgets in June, those special revenues were part of that resolution. So we've got that covered. We don't have anything to do on that. And so unless you have any other questions,
Thank you all.
Thank you, appreciate it.
all right.
Thank
Well,
you.
thank you.
Appreciate everything.
All right.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to say something to Kim, please.
Yeah.
Kim, I guess at the last meeting, which was last week, we've got an invitation to your retirement.
Mine and Audrey's.
It wasn't a surprise retirement, was it? If it is, I just let the cat out the bag. But anyhow, I go on vacation tomorrow.
Okay.
And so I won't be out. For the first time, I think I'll be off for like about 19 days. I'm off tomorrow at noon when I get back from Savannah, and I don't go back until the middle of the 5th or something like that. So I'll be out for a while. So I won't be here. I won't be in town, but I do want to wish you well on your retirement.
Thank
I
you.
mean, I was just counting it.
Yes.
I've been here 14 years, and you was here when I got here, but we appreciate all that you've done and what you brought, keeping us straight with the finance and everything, and we wish you well. God bless you.
I appreciate it. Thank
Okay.
you so much.
Thank you again. All right, Mr. Long.
Good evening. Short today.
Hope everybody's going well.
My goodness, what have you brought?
2 minutes. Just 2 minutes, just 2 minutes. Well, she did at least 2 minutes.
Trent, I wish you well on your retirement.
For that too. Want to hit a couple of things off my report. Everybody should have gotten a copy in their packet. Claudia Lane, I've got the water system stuff. We got the estimates over to Joey. We're looking at that, and I got a set of plans I want to leave off with you.
Okay.
I did walk off and leave my estimate that I was going to give you tonight as well, but I will email that to you before I leave tonight.
Hold it till I get back in January.
I can do that.
I'm not doing none of this stuff. That's fine.
All right, I just didn't want you to think I forgot all about that.
Okay.
Bill Carter Road, we are ready to go. We're just gonna wait till January to start bidding on it. I think that's what we talked about last couple of times ago. Mary Todd Road, we have been out there, got most all the surveying done. They're working on, getting the base maps done, drawn up and figuring out where all our right-of-ways are, like, very closely.
Okay.
And, once we get that, we can start design on that. Not gonna say we don't have a few holes in topo we gotta go back and fix, but we'll go back and get all that going and get you a set of plans out pretty shortly. Miller Park Recreation Park is, moving along pretty good. We, got most of the curb in, most of the stone is in. We are having a real issue with a little bitty box that Comcast needs to come move right beside, the catch basin right there on the DOT right away. I got a copy of one of the executives' phone number this morning from Maria, and we got a phone call into them. We've been hounding them every day for the last 2 months to get that moved. So hopefully we can get that moved and get that finished up front. Gum Branch Solid Waste Center is coming along really well. Most of the roads around it have been completed. That was one of my bigger worries because we raised those roads up almost 2 feet in that area. I don't know if you noticed how much we brought those roads up, but they did get that. That got done successfully. You know, we delayed the start of this job because we were waiting on materials with pipes and with basins. And when they did start coming in, we only had a load a week for like weeks, and we didn't finish. They didn't finally get all their materials into the middle of October. Their completion date is December 22nd. They have requested a 60-day time extension. I think they can finish it in 60 days. I think it's fair to grant a 60-day time extension to them. If it is the pleasure of the board, I'd like to request a 60-day time extension for them.
Do we need a motion, Mr. Chairman, or just, so it's okay with me, because I know they had been delays in supplies and
Yes, ma'am.
real good.
Does that take official action, Mr. Brown, or?
Yes, sir, it would.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion, we grant the delay of 60 days for the Gum Branch Convenience Center.
Second.
Motion second, we grant delay of 60 days for the convenience center. Any further discussion? All in favor, show of hands, please. All right.
Okay. Something happened with my sentence there on your,
Yeah, I was, right, I was,
we did something out there.
Yeah.
The sentence got kind of whacked off. I'm not sure what happened there, but we've got some of the work going on out there survey-wise, and
Right.
we're getting some plans prepared for you. So right now, we're trying to get all the surveying wrapped up on that. So I'll get a better, I don't know, guess the secretary part of me missed that, so.
understood.
Switch down to Davis and Select Street. Do have a set of plans ready. We'll try to sit down with Steve Welborn and the mayor sometime next week, just kind of talk about it real briefly before we put it out to bid. I think we'll probably be ready to put that out. I wanted to be bidding this month, but I think it's probably better that we bid during the month of January.
Yeah,
Anyhow.
when I came in, they were, y'all were talking and, like they were talking about the distribution of the splosh, and I don't know if it was Eddie or Commissioner Frazier said something about zeroing the chairman out. Now, but if they're gonna zero him out on the next one, because he's gonna help me fund this one now, so don't take him down to zero yet.
I'm trying not to take him down.
All I heard was chairman and zero, so
The money, but I'm trying not to spend
hopefully he
it all.
still got someone for this
Yeah,
one.
so that's from years gone by, not the current.
Okay, I just caught the tail end of it.
Yep.
Yeah, but, Mayor, Steve and, Willis.
Willis, yes, sir.
Okay, you gonna try to get with them?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Appreciate it.
I just want to make sure everybody's on board before I go and start putting that in the paper.
Okay, good.
One last thing, I think Mr. Brown has several of the capital projects that I also have on my report this month, and I'll let him kind of talk about some of those. One of the things that I do want to talk to you about, Windstream is doing a upgrade of their fiber optic system that's all up and down the East Coast. The leg they're working on right now is all the way down to Jacksonville, and they have a leg of it that comes through Liberty County. Now, most of the fiber that they're going to be putting through Liberty County is within state routes. I think Mr. Brown heard this morning where DOT has all that approved and permitted. They will be coming down Homestown Road. They'll be doing a directional bore. We have them doing it on the edge of the road or backside of the right-of-way. When it goes, they're going to cut all the way through the dirt section all the way to Westfield Road. And when they go through there, they had asked me to trench. They had it shown on their plans as a directional bore, and I requested them to keep it as a directional bore so they could be deep as possible. Plus that soils through that dirt section are very poor, and if they cut a trench in there, I'd have a hard time healing it, and we'll end up with trafficability issues out there. So they're going to try to keep that as a directional bore so we don't tear up the road. Then they'll get back on 119, go up into Walterville, and then they go down a little bit more of our right-of-way down Hardman and Dorsey Road till they get into Long County. So what this does is this is a large-scale upgrade to their fiber optic lines, which should be good for all of us. But they'll be in our right of way. They also are very aware that if we do anything that requires them to move, that we have prior rights, and they'll have to move their facilities if we do something that takes care of that. And right now, what they're trying to do is not in the way of our future plans for the bypass.
I was waiting on you to say that.
Yes, sir. We did check with what they're doing with the future bypass. So we should be in good shape with everything, with where they're planning. So, just, I'd recommend that we allow them to go ahead and be in our right of way for that. And that's the last thing that I've got
Do
tonight.
we know where the right of way's at out there, Fred?
We have like a 30-foot right of way, and it's not far off the back of the curb through some of those little sections in the middle.
30 foot?
30, some places 40. Yeah, it's narrow.
Trent,
Then you also know that it's wetlands on both sides in a lot of places through there
Are they
too.
gonna put it in duct, or are they just gonna have
They'll
directional?
do it, when they do it with the, directional bore, they'll do it in the little yellow, orange, I'll get to the right color, pipe, and then they'll pull it through the pipe.
But where they're gonna trench, you said,
No, I'm telling them not to trench. I want them to directional bore. I didn't make that, I'm sorry if I didn't make that clear. I basically said no on the trench because it was gonna cause us
so
problems.
that may give them the opportunity to go somewhere else, even down the railroad. Get the water out there to get the 119.
Yeah, I think they looked at the railroad, but I'm not sure what came of that. Because you can run into some pretty high fees going down railroad tracks, so,
Trent,
yes, sir.
and Mr. Brown, on these municipalities cutting across the roads to put a water line in, do they need to get permission from the county as long as the road is in the county?
If it's a county road, yes, sir, it should. If it's a city road, then they have jurisdiction over it, but.
No,
if it's
county road.
If it's unincorporated.
Unincorporated where they
Liberty
do
County,
run
yes,
the
sir,
water.
They should get permission to do, a open cut or a bore under our road.
Well, they just cut across the road and put water in, and I don't know if they got permission from you or Clinton,
Where at?
and it's on Grass Island Road.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, I will talk to the mayor about that. So,
And is the project on Trade Hill Road complete?
yes, sir, I need to ride out there. You and I talked about that last week, and
Yeah.
I haven't had the opportunity to ride out there to look and see what he's got, but I will certainly go out there and let you know.
Okay.
Probably tomorrow or Monday.
And it's no, like I said.
But I think most of the pipe is in.
Okay. And if I go out that way before you do, I'll let you know, save you a trip.
Well,
And I won't charge you.
I still need to go. I just hadn't had an opportunity
Oh,
to go.
you just don't want me to charge you.
Well, well, you can charge me. Come on, I can use another inspector.
Go ahead.
Trent, was you gonna go over these parking?
Well, yes, ma'am.
Come
I
back
was.
here,
I didn't know how much time you guys wanted to spend tonight.
Well, just give me some idea which ones you're talking about.
These are some ideas of parking layouts that you've asked about in the past. The first one is a parking lot over here. Yes, ma'am. And you remember we bid it out several years ago, and we turned it down because of the prices, and we just did where the old gas company building is. So this layout that you have tonight in front of you, which looks like this one, basically would meet all our requirements. We'd do some brick pavers, and that way we can take care of our stormwater with it. And it would keep us from having all these dead-end parking, because you know, all this parking over here is dead-end, except for the little piece that cuts through over there next to my other office. So this would make this flow a lot better, and it would make it look more in keeping with the downtown development area with the sidewalks and stuff like that.
Does it create more spaces?
No, ma'am, it's
Just
about
the
the
same.
same.
That's what we need.
Which
You
one
need
are
more
you looking
spaces.
at there?
We need more
Yeah,
parking.
It's not a significant change in spaces. You know, one thing, if we were trying to look for extra spaces, and I hate to say it this way, but if we fixed this and went straight across the street, the county piece that's right next to my office, that's pretty deep, and that could afford some places for some parking over there as well, if we needed it.
I didn't
Now,
know that was ours.
that old piece right next to my office,
Yeah.
if you're standing looking at my office, that piece on the right,
Yeah.
that's Liberty County's. Matter of fact, the water well for irrigation, all of this around here, sits right outside my back fence.
Is it an acre or how much land?
Acre.
Half acre?
Yeah, my lot's tiny, because my lot's like 90 by 90.
I was just thinking, you know, that would give
That
us
could
some
be some
parking,
additional-
a design.
Yeah,
there
we
possibly.
looked at doing a parking lot over there once before. So, you know, that is something we can look at doing. And I could put a little exhibit for you up there and just kind of see what you would like, you know, let you look at it a little bit. But this was just intended to give you some ideas.
Okay, all right.
And then, you know, we know we have some real issues with the parking area behind Thomas Hill Jewelers over here.
Right.
Yeah, that parking lot is just,
Yeah.
that's really horrible.
And that's the
It's hard to
county's
get in,
lot.
hard to get out.
It's ours, yeah,
Now,
but
we're not gonna get any real extra parking spaces out of it, but it will certainly make it
Look better.
look better, and it will make it function better, and it would make it look more like our downtown. Because one of the things we'd have to do on Midway Street is, you know how we have some angled parking over there? And then when you have that angled parking, there's not enough place to get by when you get, you know, big dually truck.
Yeah.
Right.
People parking, you can't get down that road.
Right.
So we changed that to parallel parking. We'd put a little bit of angled parking in that little area now where it is. And there's an alley that's part of that that's not ours. So if you kind of look on the picture, you know, that little alley that's right beside Thomas Hill Jewelers comes behind Bob Purple's and straight through there, that doesn't belong to us.
no,
So we just have to connect to that and leave access for that. So, but just options and things for you to look at. And, you know, tell me if you like it, tell me if you don't like it, and we'll put something together that shows both this one and the parking lot across the street. And
Yeah.
if you get where you like it, we want to kind of look a little further into it. We'll start putting some numbers together for it and figure out what to do.
okay.
I think that's all I have for my report tonight.
Trent, if you don't make it down to Trade Hill, Commissioner Walden and I going down there tomorrow, we'll give Commissioner Stevens a full report on our way back out.
Yeah, because apparently y'all constituents in Hinesville don't have anything for y'all to do.
Yeah, no, I say, Hinesville got their own mayor, council, everything, so I'm free. Free.
Well, thank you very much, and y'all have a very Merry Christmas.
You too.
Take care.
Thanks for the
too.
kick.
All right.
One more thing, Trent.
Hey, I turned to the left.
No, I was saying on your way out, you remember what I requested? See?
Yes,
Absolutely, the breakdown.
yes, I do, and I had that on the list, and I forgot to bring it to you. Michelle got a lot of that pulled together for me earlier in the month, and I'm gonna stop and write down, and that way I'll make sure that I have it tomorrow.
Thank you.
And I'll try to send it to you.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Good evening, sir. Again, I'll try to be very cognizant of the time. We'll run through real quick, just give you an update on the capital projects that we've got done. Trent mentioned Miller Park, so yeah, the curbing is starting to go in out there. I'll show you an overhead view here, but they were actually doing some pouring, so you can see where they've done the aggregate in the back, actually all the way down the road and extended it in the back some. And you get an overhead view there of what's going on, not only on that project, but a little bit also on the fire project next door over there. So work does continue down there. The weather's good. That makes a big difference. Down at the Sam Harris Gym, if you haven't been in there, it is completely open. That's going along very well too. I did look at some material this week related to the placement of electrical boxes along those side walls to accommodate early voting, and talked to Rhonda about all that too. So that's going very well. They have gone in, they've already finished the bathrooms. In fact, they've already pressurized water lines in there. So they're running the water test on those, supposed to this week, as a matter of fact. So that's happening very well.
I need to get with you. There's some things that I saw in that gym. And there are some of those beams. Don't know how important it, how it's gonna factor in, but I'll get with you
Sure.
and point it out to you.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Okay.
That'd be great. And just an outside view, and you remember too that there is gonna be a circular turnaround in here. So as folks come in, there'll be a drop-off point. You can kind of see the work that's going on out front as they've gone ahead and blocked up and starting to fix the front atrium area there. They're putting the planters in this week. So that's going real good. Georgia Power's already got the lighting layout for the parking area in here. So everything's on go there.
Tell you what, since certain people retired from Georgia Power, we're getting things moving now.
Let me go on real quick. The Miller Park Station, you saw one view of that. This is the front view of that station, and then the rear view of that station as you see it. So work continues there, as Ms. Long mentioned. All the beams are in place. Block work was really scheduled to be finished, but then the door frames came in. There's been a backlog on door frames and door frame hardware across the nation, so they finally got those fabricated and sent those in. And so the project, again, from a little aerial view, going real well there. EMS Station 2, I think you saw almost ironically the same picture. Trent stole my picture, what he did over there. But that's going along very well too. A little bit of an overview there. Site work starting at that location also and going very well. Again, the dry weather's really helped that with compaction and rates of things there.
Where is that, Joey?
This is actually the EMS station down at
17.
down in Highway 17.
Y'all ain't seen that?
Past,
I don't hardly go 17. It's,
Man, that's where the action at.
yeah, okay.
And this is just a shot of the inside. Later on, as we get farther into it, you can kind of tell this is the open area or the common area in that station. We'll do a walkthrough with the camera, so we'll walk you through there as they start to get walls up and everything. But again, that project's going real well. I believe really all the metal decking and roof work, it should be dried in really before New Year's as far as trying to dry it in.
Will that station be able to hold, what, four units?
4 units.
4 units, okay,
4 units and actually 4 crews.
okay, all right.
Just a little bit update, the land acquisition is proceeding on the road department, waiting on Kelly to get those documents for us on the closure, the land closure with Coastal, and then it's in final design with Rusty McCall and Associates. So expect to see some of those final drawings come out probably the first part of January, and we'll be ready to go with that project. As you know, what the holdup will be for us putting that on the street will be getting the EMS building finished, which is scheduled to be finished in May or June, as is the fire station. So once we see that happening, we'll go ahead and put that on the street. I'd like to get them out as close as I can first part of the year to get the best bidding situation we got. So we're working on that. Health Department, as you know, you approved acquiring that site. In fact, I talked with someone today about doing some clearing in there, modified type clearing so that we can get in and examine the site and start with the site work. And so that's what will be next on that, and followed by the design. I would think that design probably starts in earnest in January. Probably to get the construction drawings is going to take the better part of 5 months, 4 to 5 months with reviews and everything. So again, we told the bond underwriter about that today. We think we'll be ready to really put those on the street in May or June for construction. If we get much past that towards the later part of the year, it kind of becomes a problem. So that's our goal. Head Start still has some final punch list items. Commissioner Stevens may be aware of that. Yeah. They really had to accelerate the opening of that building because of some federal requirements. So they're going now in and tidying up some cabinet work issues and stuff they had to do there and some things that were on back order. So they're finishing that up. Trent's report, I'm sorry, go ahead.
On that, we had a meeting last week, and on the punch list items, they're gonna try to really jump on them starting Monday, when the school shut down. So a lot of it had to be completed when school was out. So.
All right, okay, yeah. Okay. And Trent really, on his report, hit the water system projects. We looked, in fact, a proposal this week, sent it over for him to look at on the water system on Lewis Fraser. Those proposals will hit the road in January and be ready to go. And then we're waiting on some final EPD and GDOT plan review stuff that they've got to do for the west side over here. So everything, I hate to talk about it too much, but everything's working on schedule right now. I think the beauty in the EMS thing was we were delayed by site work with water there with all the rainy time, but it did allow some of those materials to get in. And so now they're ready to go. We're not really waiting on anything. there.
So it's possible we could have 3 ribbon cutting almost within. within 1
Possible,
month, almost.
possible. Sam Harris Gym, due to be finished about the same time.
district are those in?
District 1.
The Sam Harris Gym due to be finished about the same time. HVAC systems, that HVAC system's not actually supposed to be in until May. And so that may push us.
Push it back.
But, you know, we'll be dried in and everything and somewhat acclimated, but it'll be May or June before we can get that system installed. But so far, everything else is on track, equipment-wise. And so any questions? Of course, we'll start looking at Splash 7 in your planning session. There's a couple of construction projects in there, not anything like these, but a couple of construction projects in there that we need to kind of jump start on too. But it's all good right now. Chief Darby's here. It's Christmas time, so actually he has been in communication with City of Pooler. And I put in front of y'all up there something that they have sent over to the chief. They have a 1999 Emergency 1 Quint aerial truck, which is actually what we have been trying to apply for some grants for, a Quint type aerial apparatus. They're replacing it, not because it's old, but because they need a different type of apparatus for that. And so they've basically offered it, or are offering it to Liberty County for $45,000. Now that unit is over $1 million if it's bought on the street new, and this would not backtrack us on wanting to get a new one and still applying for the grants for that. But really the 2 vehicles that will be in your Splash 7 budget do not include an aerial apparatus. They are engines that really need to either replace what we've got or go into the main station, be dispersed throughout the county. So this would really help us. I think it's a tremendous opportunity to come along. It's got some equipment on it. There is some equipment we'd have to put on it. We believe we can, or I believe we can gain those funds through the current Splash. But we need to, if it's okay, indicate from the board to the City of Pooler that we are interested in trying to receive that truck. I'd yield to a quick comment from the chief. You noticed I said quick.
Come on, Chief.
If you wanted to really highlight anything on that fire apparatus.
Chairman, Commissioners, as Mr. Brown explained, it's a 1991 E1. This truck, Mr. Brown was dead set on the nail. Brand new will cost us roughly about $1.2 million with 0 equipment on it. As well as the build time currently, we have a neighboring department who just placed an order for one, and they are paying $1.1 million for it right now with no equipment, and they won't receive it for 2 years. So those are just some things to think about. This will be a great training tool for our crews to learn how to utilize ladder trucks, as it is going to be something that we will need to grow into here in Liberty County, and great tool for it to turn and help grow the fire department in the aerial aspect. So.
Chief Darby.
Sir.
On this ladder truck, what's the requirements for personnel?
So this ladder truck to safely operate should be 4 personnel. We believe through training, through our training division that we have internally, we should be able to at least get it set up and operated with 3 people, but safely it should be 4 assigned to that vehicle.
Okay. All right.
Chief, you said 91, you meant to say 99?
It is a 1999. Yes, sir.
And it's a ladder truck.
Yes, ma'am. So it's, not to get technical with it, this vehicle is classified as what they call a quint, ma'am. And a quint is defined as a fire truck and a ladder truck smashed into one. So they're missing aspects of both, but they're also complementing each other. So some void spaces that would be in there for a fire engine are filled up by a ladder, and some compartment space that would normally be used for a ladder truck or a platform truck are filled up by the aspects of the engine. So it's kind of the best of both worlds, just not everything. But this is the type of apparatus that in future endeavors through the growth of fire services would be requested, our quint trucks.
How's your, all right, so you'll have personnel to include the ones just graduated?
Yes, sir. It'll all go through a training phase on this, both vehicle operations, aerial operations, water flow operations. We do have a very extensive road course program that we have to handle internally, and this is already planned out for that to happen.
Chairman. Chief, how much work does this truck need?
This truck actually needs no work. I've already been up to Pooler. I've talked with Chief.
A 23-year-old truck for a fraction of the price of a new one needs no work.
Yes, sir. So the mechanic up there is actually owned.
Not even painting.
It will need some decaling because it does have City of Pooler Fire Department on the side of it. But it's got, you know, it's a 1999. It's got some small scrapes and whatnot. Nothing that's taking the truck out of service or making any compartments non-operational. Lighting has already been upgraded on it to LED. In fact, Chief Simmons called me on Tuesday and informed me that it just went through pump service testing and passed with flying colors and is getting ready to get what they call a aerial load test on it, which has to be done annually, and City of Pooler is handling that. It is a 23-year-old truck. Mm-hmm. This truck has been a reserve apparatus for the City of Pooler, and the only reason they're getting rid of it, as Mr. Brown said, is due to the infrastructure going up in the side of the city limits of Pooler. One of the industrial buildings actually bought them a newer ladder truck, as this 75-foot ladder is not starting to reach their 4-foot and 5-foot tall buildings.
And you say the City of Pooler is doing the inspection and certifying all this stuff?
City of Pooler has, yes, sir, but it has already been reviewed by our mechanics through Palmetto Fire, and they haven't found anything that is alarming. I've even gone as far as making sure that our mechanics look into line parts. You know, is it something that's no longer in production? Everything is in production still for this truck. Everything is non-astronomical when it comes to pricing. It's well within normal realms of even what we're purchasing ladder trucks today.
It's a real good deal.
Yes, sir. And with this, so Chief Simmons and I, we've had long conversations. He knows that in our area we don't have any aerial devices. We call for mutual aid for those types of things. And when he was told that he needed to get rid of it because they have no more space, he picked up the phone and called me and said, I know you have a need, and I'm not looking to make buku dollars off of this. You have a need. I'd like to help you with that need. And that it truly brought together the whole meaning of we're a fire department regardless of what patch is on your shoulder. So my hat's off to Chief Simmons for thinking of us here in Liberty County and for the cost.
Yeah, well, you know, if he ain't got no place to park it, we can handle that for him for free.
Yes, sir.
Well, that's my next question is, where you gonna park it at?
Well,
Do we have a place that's sufficient that we can park it in?
Yes, sir, we do. So currently, this truck can actually fit in the bay out at the Islands Fire Station or in the bay at the Gum Branch Fire Station. Once Miller Park is completed, it will be housed at Miller Park.
And it'll be out of the weather.
Yes, sir. None of our trucks are sitting open to the weather.
Out of the weather and out of Pooler.
Yeah.
Well, I know this is a good deal. I bought a 1986 Chevy C10. Paint was beautiful on it. I bought it in the year probably 2004. My dad told me then, son, you buying an older vehicle, have some money to the side for repairs. I drove it down to Hinesville. Made it back to Atlanta at the corner of 75 and I-20. I remember it like yesterday. Engine went out.
It's a good point about this, though, Commissioner Frazier. Good point about this is not a Chevy.
It wasn't a Ford, it was a Chevy. I'm listening to you.
Yeah, good point, it's not a Chevy. That's, you know, that's the reason. Wouldn't even be before you if we were trying to buy a used Chevy.
Yeah. Trust me, I get it. We have a need and
we really do.
And the prices, ooh.
Yeah, we really do. Timing
right.
Too.
Right, and the timing.
We still want to try to acquire a new one. It's just that even if we had $2 million sitting in the bank right now, it'd be so long to get it. So we don't need to quit that.
Absolutely.
We need to go ahead and see. And I really think that even if we use it for 2 years, that we'll get some return on it in 2 years too.
Brian, you and our maintenance director looked at the maintenance reports.
Yes, sir. So all of our vehicle all of our vehicle maintenance as far as our apparatus fleet is not handled by the county. That was something you guys approved, or the commission
I
approved 2 years
remember.
ago. But it has been reviewed by Palmetto Fire Apparatus, who is our maintenance crew out of South Carolina.
Okay,
That just does emergency.
Yes, sir.
okay. And they're giving you the thumbs up?
They've given me the thumbs up. I mean, it's gonna need oil changes but as far as they've looked at it, you've got the normal cosmetic wear. But nothing catastrophic failure, nothing red tagged, with it.
Okay. This is fund balance, Mr. Brown?
No, sir, I believe I believe the fund, that's the other good thing, is I'd recommend we pull it from
Under
Splosh
fire?
6 under fire allocation there, so it would be a funded item.
Okay.
Motion on that?
Want a motion?
Mr. Chair, I make a motion that we purchase this 75-foot quint from Pooler for the amount of $45,000.
Second.
Your second, we go through the purchase of this fire apparatus from City of Pooler. Thank them for their kindness and looking out for their sister, for another municipality. And we heard Mr. Brown and Mr. Darby said that our mechanical overseers have looked at it and they've given it, I would say, a blessing, a thumbs up. So, and the Spouse 6
It will be Splosh 6 funds, yes, sir.
will fund it. All right, so sounds like the groundwork has been done. Any further discussion? All in favor, show of hands, please. All right.
Chairman, Commissioners, thank you.
No problem.
And we'll get that word back to them. Other thing is, we've received a couple of good news things. One is, if you remember, we put in for about 3 years ago for a federal emergency management grant to replace the double culverts going down Islands Highway, about where the leaning tree is. Through a couple of hurricane seasons, we had some erosion around those pipes down there, so we put a federal grant application in. Finally, the federal grant was funded at a total cost of $871,000. The federal share of that $653,000 and some change, and our local share is $217,000, which we have been reserving in the drainage account in Splosh 6 in hopes that we'd get this. So that's the good news. We've got the match. We'll have a kickoff meeting on that Monday and find out exactly how that grant will work through that federal system. So real good that we're finally, good things, I guess, come to persistence and those who wait, right? The other thing is a project that y'all been working on, and Trent's had in his report, if you remember, is a roundabout or improvements at the intersection of Highway 17 and Barrington Ferry. That's been done. We worked with GDOT, got that in the federal hopper for a federal project. GDOT sponsored it for us, and it was awarded this week. So that's good news. We'll be meeting with them shortly too. There will be a project manager to let us know how that project will proceed, because it'll be with federal funds, and we'll be the local sponsor for that project. So two projects we've been needing, probably both of which total over about $3 million for that. Which will be really, really great. And if there is a grant match on this last one for Barrington Ferry, that money is also reserved in Splosh 6, dedicated by y'all to the Barrington Ferry Intersection Improvement Project. So you don't have to worry about funds there to do that.
What about the Lewis Frazier, the bridge, Peacock Canal Bridge? Anything on that one lately? I know Trent got away.
I don't know. I really don't know. That's proceeding through their path. I think they were going for PFPR, public hearing on that, which is required, sending out notices on it to the public, but I think that I'll try to find out, Commissioner Stevens. I will find out for you on that to do. The only other thing, we don't really have to do this tonight, is just in looking ahead, we need to be looking at the calendars for the commission planning meeting for this year to talk about a good many things. In fact, if you have anything that you want to see put on that agenda, if you'll go ahead and start sending them to me, and we'll start building that agenda. But normally that's done in the February, March timeframe. So again, there's no need to do that tonight, but if you'll be looking at your calendars, I'll get Maria to reach out to all y'all, because you got some crazy working times, I know, that you have to deal with, and we'll get it together.
Sometime February.
February, March, first part of March. We used to try to do it in February, because the community-wide planning session was in March, and now that's in September.
Yeah.
But so ideally, February, March would be great, especially with Splosh 7 coming up.
Okay.
We'll start to get those
We
proceeds
didn't-
in May.
Yeah.
Actually, when they'll come in. So.
Yeah, let Maria send out some.
Okay, I will. I'll be glad to do that.
Y'all have Commissioner Jones scheduled, don't you?
All right.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
Mr. Brown, have you had a chance to analyze that work order on the Limerick Road and the comparison I'd asked you about?
Did, and talked to Mr. Long about that too. One of the big differences is driveway cuts, because you've got so many more driveway cuts on that section going to Lake George than you have on the other side over there. And so that's what is really driving that cost up.
Thank you.
And I'll be glad to get with you and we'll look at it in detail, but yes, sir, I did.
All right, that's it. Chair, entertain a motion to adjourn.
Second. Mr. Chairman, I would like, my commissioners on to your right, this ends our, this ends our, no, this ends our, term as, the selection committee. I didn't know if y'all, want to extend it for another 6 months. We'll be more than willing, in case something come January, we'll be more than willing if y'all, you know, it's up to y'all, now.
We will not extend it, and we did not learn anything from you.
All right, okay, all right.
All in favor to adjourn?
All right, Merry Christmas.
All right, Merry Christmas.